Roma are perceived to be one of the biggest clubs in Italy. However, when you take a deep dive into their history and into their trophy cabinet, it seems like they've actually not won too many trophies. Just 3 Serie A titles and 9 Coppa Italias, and their last Serie A coming back in 2001, even though over the last 20 seasons, they've only had 5 years out of the top 5 places in Italy. So really a club which have never taken the next step and becoming a European and Italian giant, and that is the goal today. However, that is certainly not an easy goal, as Jose Mourinho has just found out, being sacked by Roma as their manager. And as you look at the club's finances here on Football Manager, you can see £210 million worth of debt in the club and just £37 million in the bank. So today we're going to be rebuilding Roma using Wonderkids only, hopefully back to some Serie A trophies and hopefully even their first ever Champions League. So strap yourselves in for this AS Roma rebuild. And we are picking this up, of course, in the realistic January update. So we've got up-to-date transfers, we've got everything all done as it is in real life. And as of January the 1st, Roma was sitting in 7th place. Now in real life, that is 8th place. And things continue to go wrong, hence the sacking of Jose Mourinho. When you actually look through the squad, there is a lot of fantastic players here. Lukaku on loan, Renato Sanchez on loan, Diego Llorente, Rasmus Christensen and Sardar Uzmun all on loan, which again shows the financial frailties. A superstar player like Stefan El Shawari is getting up to 31 years of age. Paulo Dybala was a massive signing in the summer, but he's got a release clause of just £12 million and is 30 years of age as well, and on £135,000 a week. So even our best players are not really going to cut the mustard. Spinazzola is the age of 30 years of age. Chris Smalling's 34. Rui Patricio in goal, 35. Lorenzo Pellegrini, who for me is one of the best players in the world, a fantastic central midfielder, 27 years of age. And to be honest, for this rebuild for 5 years, he will be absolutely perfect, because Italy isn't the most sort of fast pace. You need all the stamina in the world. It is a technical game here in Italy, and having good passing, good crossing, good mental attributes is what we need, and he's consistent and loves big match. So Lorenzo Pellegrini should be a superstar for the whole of this rebuild. But other than him, Brian Cristante, Mancini possibly, everyone else in this starting 11 is pretty much not going to be here in a year, 2 years time. And as you look through the bench, it's not like there's a whole plethora of Wonderkids either. Mile Silva is the backup goalkeeper. Evan Ndika is a fantastic young centre-back at 24 years of age. He should be very good for us. Nikola Jaluski is decent. Tammy Abraham's come to the back of like an 8-month cruciate ligament injury. He'll be back by the middle of February. Leandro Paredes, 29 years of age. Belotti, 30. Zeki Celik, 26. Eduardo Bove is hopefully going to be the Lorenzo Pellegrini double pivot as we move into the 4-2-3-1. This guy should come through the academy and be a superstar. Marsh Kumbula, 23 years of age, but probably not got the quality. And then a few players down here as well, including Hassan Uwa, who are just not good enough. And you head into the under-20s, again, sorted by potential. There's 2 players here. One of them's on loan us, so isn't going to even be our player. And one of them is Ricardo Solbes, who actually looks fantastic. Signed from Argentina and Defensa y Justicia. Very good pronunciation if you ask me. He's a very consistent top performer, which I love to see. Decent finishing, decent pace, not very composed, but he is just 17 years of age. So hopefully Ricardo can turn into something. And under 18s wise, there is absolutely nothing. So it's a club which is sort of slowly dying. It is falling away from being a dominant club in Italy. And that is our goal, to take them to the next step. So we're not going to do anything here in January. We're going to keep things fairly reserved. No transfers coming in. I've not banned the transfer window, but I'm just simply not going to do anything. I'm going to let this middle of season 1 to the end of season 1 run, see if we can manage to lift our 2nd Europa League, see if we manage to lift our 10th Coppa Italia, and I don't think we're going to be winning the Serie A, but qualifying for the Europa League, possibly the Champions League, would be top results. That is only 4 points away, so there is a good chance. So let's get into it. Season 1 here at Roma. So the Coppa Italia are ended incredibly abruptly with a 2-1 loss to Cagliari in just the 3rd round, which is incredibly frustrating, but could have even been a competition would have gone on to win, because the eventual winners were Fiorentina in a 2-1 victory against AC Milan. I'd like to think we're a better club than Fiorentina, so that's annoying. We didn't manage to take much of a battle to them for that one. In the Europa League, we ended up losing 7-4 in aggregate to Newcastle, who went on to not win it. Liverpool won it, and Newcastle lost somewhere in the semis or the quarterfinals. So again, again, not the greatest showing in the Europa League either, meaning both cup competitions we didn't go ahead and win. And in the league, we ended up finishing in 6th place, getting smashed by the team I thought would be better than Fiorentina, who finished 9 points above us on 72. We were fairly average for the second half of the season. I pretty much just plugged the 4-3-3 tactic in that I've created. It's a slight change to the 4-2-3-1 that you have seen. I've only dropped the midfielder back from an attack midfielder down to a central attack to get in Renato Sanchez, Cristante and Pellegrini into this team. And it is a decent tactic. It does the job, but you can see based on the schedule for the second half of the season, it was pretty topsy-turvy. A few losses, a few wins, lots and lots of goals is exactly what to expect, but not the greatest of second half of the seasons. And 63 points, while respectable, and of course gets us back in the Europa League for season 2, is not fantastic. Now, what we are doing for this rebuild is rebuilding the club using Wonderkids only. So we're going to be using these 15 to 21-year-old recruitment focuses that I have got set up, and I have shown you guys time and time again, once on the Wonderkid video, Wonderkid scouting video from December, and a few times in different rebuilds as well. So I won't go through it here today, but if you want to see the best way to scout Wonderkids from all over the world, whether it's Africa, Asia, South America, North America, Oceania, Europe, or South America, I think I said twice, feel free to go ahead and watch that video, and you can see already some of the players that are coming through. We should be able to get some bargains in. Now, currently wise money here at Roma, we have just £8 million in the bank and £33,000 negative in the wage budget, so we might have to go ahead and sell some players. But lucky for us, a few players are leaving the club thanks to the loans running out. But unlucky for us, the best person in the club this season, Romelu Lukaku, who scored 19 goals in 21 games, is not going to be sticking around. He is 31 years of age, a value of 37 million. So we're not going to be going ahead and signing big Rom, but it's good to see that a striker in this system with this team will work very, very well. I mean, Lukaku's stats are actually fantastic. I just think he's very injury prone and isn't going to be coming in here because this is a under-21s Wonderkid rebuild. Only Renato Sanchez was decent. He'll be leaving the club. Christensen, decent, leaving the club. Llorente and Asbin were both backups, of course, leaving the club. But one big thing that I have gone ahead and done is I've given a brand new contract to Paulo Dybala. Now, I wanted to get rid of that pesky release clause, just release clause of £12 million. I kept him on the exact same wages, which is lovely to go ahead and see. He's got a value of £50 million and he is wanted. So the reason that I've gone ahead and done this for Dybala is to hopefully raise some funds. We are in so much debt that if we can sell this guy for £40 million rather than £12 million, that is going to be absolutely pivotal. So throughout this summer, I'm going to try and sell him and just give ourselves a bit more money to go ahead and play with. But let's see what signings we can bring in for season 2. So we have sold £42 million of our players, and the main person we have sold is Gianluca Mancini for £28 million, rising to 32 to Juventus. He was decent last season on 6.86, but a 28-year-old Italian international who is very consistent and his stats are absolutely fantastic. Oh, you have to take the money for him. That is an absolute massive sum here at Roma. 32 million quid will go a hell of a long way. We sold players like Aouar, Solbak and Kambula for a grand total of 10 million to take us to that 42 million. And from there, we started our Wonderkid purchase. The number one was Jair from Brazil, 1 million measly pounds from Santos. He will probably never become a starting centre-back, but over the years, hopefully he can progress into a very good centre-back for us. I have done a Santos rebuild on the channel, and this guy turned into an absolute beast. He's got 18 jump and reach and 12 head in, and he's 6'6". So corners-wise, this guy's fantastic, and I hope for £1 million he can turn into something here at Roma as well. Even if it is just a good squad player for us, that fits the bill. For £1 million, I cannot turn my nose up at that one. Alexis Tabidi is my next signing for £6 million. We have signed him from Troyes. He is an absolute bargain for £6 million and a 7.03 average rating last season in the second tier of France. And we're bringing him into Roma to be a pretty much starter/rotational option in the wing roles. He's got 16 flair, 13 determination, great pace, 6'2", and also can dribble, finish, and cross as well. So I like him a hell of a lot. And throughout this rebuild, hopefully, I'm going to show you guys some different Wonderkids to go ahead and sign. I don't think I signed anyone other than maybe one or two, which were like your bog standard Wonderkids to go and sign. I think I've done quite a good job of going ahead and signing players that I've never personally brought, and you guys will hopefully get into your saves for cheap and be absolutely fantastic. Just like Alejandro Iturbe, this guy is an Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, 20 years of age, played 38 games in the third tier of Spain of Atletico Madrid, conceding 36 goals and 7.51. Well, guess what, Iturbe? You're my starting goalkeeper, because I've also got rid of Rui Patricio, and 20 years of age with these stats, he's a leading Serie C goalkeeper. He's getting chucked in, and he is going to be our guy. I would rather try and grow our own keeper than use Miles Villa. This guy's good, but he's now 24 years of age. Iturbe's got more room to grow. He's a worse keeper right now, let's be honest. But hopefully season 3, season 4, he'll overtake him in terms of his stats and be a fantastic goalkeeper for us. And genuinely, I think this guy's decent. He's very good in the stats that matter. Green in all of his green stats, pretty much 13 plus, which is great to see. And hopefully he can be a good keeper for us. 6'1", a little bit worrying on the small side, but hopefully he can be good. Diego Coppola is my next signing, a young 20-year-old centre-back signed from Hellas Verona, just £5.75 million, and is my Gianluca Mancini replacement. He is very, very good, 6'4", so a big boy, consistent, and for an absolute bargain of a release clause of £6 million, it's hard to turn someone down like Coppola. And then into a big signing of Datro Fofana. This guy looks fantastic on this year's FM, and last year's FM, he was the go-to guy to go and get, as Chelsea did in real life for just £1 million. He's done pretty much nothing out on loan this season, I believe, at Union Berlin, and now he's gone to Leicester, I want to say, but we've signed him here at Roma for just £24 million, which is a lot of money to go ahead and spend, but this guy can turn into a superstar, and I have not signed him on this year's FM once. Last year's FM, a constant signing. This year's FM, because obviously he's moved to Chelsea and things haven't gone so well for him, a lot of people aren't talking about him, but with 16 acceleration, 16 pace, 16 determination, 16 flair, and great dribbling, finishing, first touch, 5'11", consistent player, Datro Fofana could turn in to an absolute superstar, and hopefully here at Roma we can facilitate him doing that. Now money is tight here at Roma, and the other wing spot also needed replacing because El Shaarawy just isn't the guy. So Bradley Barcola's come in, but on a loan deal. So this one was very, very cheap, £1.7 million. A little bit of tomfoolery. He's 21 years of age. He's not actually a signing for us. So, you know, it's a wonder kid rebuild with a couple of loans sprinkled in. Forgive me, but we need to take this team to the next level. And someone like Bradley, great pace, great determination, great dribbling, finishing, first touch. If you actually compare him to Datro Fofana in the stats that I've just read out, they're very, very similar. This guy's got a value of £55 million, and Datro was just 24. So it was signed one or the other, and we decided to go with big Datro. Now, the cover star of this rebuild, you might know who it is, you might not. It's Lucas Bergwijn. This guy is linked to every club in the world in real life, to Barcelona, to Manchester United, to Bayern Munich. And on your saves, he's probably moved from Djurgården's IF in Sweden, but he is spoken about at a ridiculously high level over in Sweden because he is a supreme talent. Now, we have signed him on loan for £250,000, but as you can see from the loan contract, we have got a optional purchase fee of 1.5 million, which, yes, are we purchasing pretty much instantly. Now, he wouldn't want to talk to me because he just signed a brand new contract, so to get around that, I decided to offer them a loan fee, which basically paid what they paid for him in transfers wise, and then gave them, you know, quadruple the amount of money that they just paid for him. So an absolute no-brainer for Djurgårdens to go ahead and sell him for that sort of price. Great determination, great acceleration, great pace, great first touch, dribbling. His stats are fantastic. I think in the winter update, this guy is going to get his potential. I mean, because it looks like based on the star ratings, about 150-ish. I think he's going to go up to like a 180. He's going to be like an Esteval or a Pablo Enrique from Palmeiras. He's going to be absolute Luis Enrique, sorry, from Palmeiras. He's going to be fantastic. His stats are outrageous already in that determination, and Model Citizen is fantastic. I think he'll get a big old boost in the winter update though. So if you can, pick him up for now. And then the last signing, and someone that sadly isn't going to play a single game this season, is Victor Hugo. And the reason he's not going to start in a single game is because I forgot about the non-EU slots here in Italy, which is very, very frustrating. But luckily, Victor Hugo's not going to get angry. He's not going to cry. He joined knowing that by the looks of it, and sadly, he come registered. But a signing of £9 million from Flamengo. Again, I've never seen this guy. I don't know. I would like to say I do a lot of rebuilds. I do a lot of transfers. I would like to say I know a lot of players as Football Manager. If I don't know someone, it's quite weird. So the fact that I don't know who this guy is, 20 years of age, 16 determination, great consistency, all of his green sort of highlighted stats are all absolutely brilliant. Dribbling, first touch, anticipation, decision making, flair, off the ball work. 6 foot tall, consistent. Victor Hugo is going to be a stud for us next season, hopefully, because I did not manage to sell Paulo Dybala. So Dybala's going to slot into this cam role we have spoken about in the 4-2-3-1. But next season, hopefully, we can make that Victor Hugo. Now, the team for us here is Iturbe in goal, Zeki Celik, Chris Smalling, Diego Coppola, Nikola Javuski, Christianse and Pellegrini. I am retraining to both be in CDM at ball midfielder and deep lying, defensive midfielder. Datro Fofana on the right, Barcola on the left, Dybala in cam, and Tammy Abraham is going to get the nod up front. Now, last season when he come back from injury, didn't score a single goal in 8 games. I tried to sell him, but a value of £26 million. It was very difficult to try and find a replacement for that. So he is still here at the club, and he is our starting number 9. And the backups, we're looking at Miles Villa, Rick Karsdorp, Evan Ndika, Jair, Matthias Viña, Leandro Paredes, Eduardo Bove, Alexis Tabili, Victor Hugo, El Shaarawy, and Belotti. Now, obviously, Bergvall is going to come in instead of Hugo and play some games. So we'll see what we can go ahead and do for season number 2. Competitions-wise, we are in the wonderful Europa League, the Coppa Italia, and the Serie A. So it'd be nice to lift a trophy this season, a Europa League or Coppa Italia. Let's be honest, we're not quite at winning Serie A level just yet. So let's see what we can do in this season. Well, we had quite the resurgent season in the Serie A, becoming the top team on goal difference and 81 points, which is a big 14 points away from AC Milan as they nearly go invincible with just one loss all season. That was away against Lazio. But a fantastic season for us, clear of Lazio, Fiorentina, Juventus, Torino, all in the lower competitions in Europe. But we were fantastic on 81 points. And I'm very happy to say we are finally back in the Champions League, which is great to see. Now, one thing we are not going to be able to do in this rebuild, I don't reckon, is win the Europa League, because hopefully from now on we stay in the Europa League, in the Champions League. But yeah, we have lost in the quarterfinals again, this time to Villarreal 3-2 on aggregate. And the winners of this one were Feyenoord, who beat Nice in the final, and Villarreal lost to Feyenoord. And I'd like to think we'd absolutely batter Feyenoord, because they're the second best team in the Eredivisie, and I think we'd absolutely smash that league. So that's very, very frustrating that we have not gone ahead and won the Europa League. And even here in the Coppa Italia, we got semi-finaled 5-0 on aggregate by the most dominant team in Italy, AC Milan, who did the Coppa Italia and the double of the Serie A. So that is very, very frustrating. Out of interest, how did they go ahead and do in Europe? They got to the Champions League round of 16 and lost to Aston Villa. So the Italian league is clearly absolutely muddied. Now, in terms of players that were fantastic this season, Tammy Abraham scored 0 goals last season, 27 this season, which is great to go ahead and see, and 4 assists. But don't worry, Tammy is not going to be the starting striker for the whole of this rebuild. We are going to bring in a couple of absolute studs to go ahead and replace him up top. Paulo Dybala this season in Cam, 19 goals, 13 assists. That value must be looking tasty. £52 million now wanted by the wonderful world of Saudi Arabia. So hopefully we can say goodbye to Paulo Dybala at 31 years of age for around 50 million quid. That would be great. Datro Fofana, 17 goals and 10 assists, a fantastic season. And Bradley Barcola, obviously just here on loan. No chance of buying him because he's so expensive, but 14 goals and 6 assists, was a fantastic player. I locked in Nikola Jaluski at left back because he kept playing at left wing, so I locked him in at left back for this rebuild, and he's been great. 8 goals and 12 assists down there. Pellegrini was fantastic with 16 assists, and overall, the brand new goalkeeper Alejandro Iturbe, I think, had a fantastic season. 54 games, just 56 goals conceded, a 6.96 average rating. Still now a good Serie B player, starting to go up in lots and lots of stats. And I think we are onto something by having him as our main goalkeeper. Alexis Tabidi didn't really start many games, but 19 off the bench was fairly decent. And Jair, again, just here at the club, had lots of games in the under-20s. And for the under-20s, he played a 7.06. So it's fairly decent for Jair, which I'm quite happy with. And I think I did the same with Tabidi. Maybe not. I didn't indeed. Now, what I like to do to sometimes develop Wonderkids that I know aren't going to play, like Jair, I will make him available for the under-20 squad for 90 minutes all the time. That's how they get lots of game time in non-competitive games. You can see down here that is the under-20s team, but they still go ahead and train with the first team, so they get them sort of maximum training facilities, and that's another good way to develop your Wonderkids. The rest of the players we went ahead and signed, if I can see anyone here, Diego Coppola was very decent, played 40 games overall, a 6.96 average rating. Lucas Bergvall, 8 off the bench, 2 goals and 2 assists, and yes, he is joining us for £1.8 million and has developed quite well already, so hopefully we can see him become an absolute superstar. Finances wise, we've done absolutely nothing to take down the debt. We are now £245 million in debt and £26 million in debt over here as well, so the money is not looking good here at Roma. So the board have given us a measly £12 million to go and spend, and our superstar centre back Chris Smalling is leaving a free contract to Brighton after not renewing his contract here at Roma. So this is going to be a difficult rebuild. We are literally relying on our scouts going and finding us wonder kids, and hopefully they're good enough here in the Serie A. So let's get into it. A big transfer window ahead for season 3, and that is what we needed. £47.5 million. Paulo Dybala goes off to Al Ahly and is going to go ahead and earn £650,000 a week. So I think as a Roma fan, if you're watching this, you can't grumble. He's given us a couple of fantastic seasons here in Italy, including last season, taking us back to the Champions League. He's gone ahead and 5 times his wages, and he is now going to go ahead and earn an absolute bag in Saudi Arabia. But thank you, Paulo Dybala. You may have just saved AS Roma. Now, number 1 signing is a loan signing from Chelsea of Romeo Lavia. This guy is absolutely fantastic. £1.2 million to come in on loan for the season, be a rotational option with Cristante, with Pellegrini, and with Eduardo Bove. Lavia should hopefully be very, very helpful in that CDM role. A centre-back I've signed potentially to be a backup along with Ger, because our centre-backs are quite set, is Gonçalo of Villarreal. This guy is £500,000 from Benfica. He looks decent. He come up with my scout report. He wasn't quite as good as the scout report said he was going to be, but he's okay. He hopefully can turn into a decent rotational option for us, and he's consistent, which I quite like. So Gonçalo Oliveira, if you guys are doing a save somewhere around the world and you want a brand new centre-back to go ahead and sign, you've never signed before, he might be an absolute banger for you. Now, to go ahead and rival Zalewski at left-back is Patrick Dorgu, signed from Lecce for just £5.75 million. A release clause again, and something which always you have to go ahead and exploit here in Italy. The release clauses are fantastic to go ahead and get, and we nearly got done with the Dybala one, but use your brains. Do not set your release clauses too low, but go and buy everyone else that's too low. He is fantastic. He's 5'9", great pace, great crossing, dribbling, and defensive stats are decent as well. Determined, balanced personality, no consistency or anything, but just a fairly standard left back, and for a bargain fee of £6 million, I cannot grumble at. And someone that's come in to sort of be a backup winger, backup left back, backup right back, backup centre mid, backup striker is Harvey Vale on a free contract. This guy just seems a bit like a no-brainer to go ahead and get in. We needed an extra position to cover off both wings, and he's also can cover off at left back as well. And for a free signing, why not get him in? So yeah, not the most attractive signing to go ahead and get in, but he did come in. And just to confirm as well, Lucas Bergvall we signed for £1.8 million. He is here potential-wise showing just 3.5 star. He's already 2.5 star. He's 19 years of age. Trust me. Go ahead and sign Lucas Bergvall and watch him grow in to a superstar in your saves. A signing that I've also not signed once on this year's FM is Garang Kuhl from Newcastle. He looks fantastic. Great pace, great determination, great finishing, first touch, and dribbling. I never signed this guy because he never really grows, and as you can see from this save, he's not really grown so far either. A good Serie B player, potentially Serie A quality. He is very, very consistent, however, and for just £12.25 million, I think could be an absolute superstar and a bit of a player that, to go ahead and get. And I've got a bit of a thing at the moment since doing the Moneyball rebuild of looking at stats a lot more rather than what the scouts say. And if you look at this guy's stats as an inside forward on support, 16 acceleration, 16 agility, 16 pace, 12 off the ball, 12 technique, 12 first touch, 13 finishing, 15 dribbling, an ambitious, determined striker. For me, he fits the bill to go ahead and score 15, 20 goals and get 10 assists in this season here at Roma. So Garang Kuhl hopefully can be a superstar for us. And then all the money we got from Paulo Dybala has gone into locking in our right back position for the rest of this rebuild. Michael Chiode has come in. He's a 20-year-old Italian right back. He is one of the ones that you guys will know about. Attacking wing back on the right-hand side, Dorgu on the left-hand side. They will suit each other very, very well. And yes, it's very, very, very expensive, but he is superb and has got value now of £130 million, and is going to be the best right back in the world, meaning the team now looks something like this. Iturbe in goal, Chiode, Ndika, Coppola, Zalewski, Pellegrini, Cristante, Kuhl, Fofana, Victor Hugo, and Abraham up front. The first team looks very, very strong. A lot of brand new players, and a lot of players that, again, I don't sign. This front three, I never signed behind Abraham. Chiode, to be fair, I personally never signed. Iturbe, I never signed. And as you look through the backups, Milesh Villa, Zeki Celik, Oliveira and Ger, Dorgu, Eduardo Bove, Lavia, Harvey Vale, Lucas Bergvall, Tabidi, and Ricardo Solbes, the youngster who we have had here at the club from the very start, is back in the team. Now, he had a decent loan spell last season out in the Serie C, doing a 7.03 average rating, scoring 9 goals. So maybe he can be a good backup for Tammy Abraham. So that is the signings for season 3. How's it going to fare? Have we strengthened too weak? We've obviously got the Champions League this season, so lots and lots of rotation is going to be needed. Let's see how we do. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the Patreon legends on screen right now. They are the paid patrons, which help make this channel what it is today. They have helped pretty much supply the microphone, helped go towards the PC. The setup we have got is pretty much all from Patreon members and them signing up. And you guys, if you want to help support the channel and help me keep improving the setup and keep trying to make this YouTube journey my absolute dream job, hopefully one day we can go full time, and you've got no idea how much Patreon can help. Just sort of £5 a month is an absolute game changer. You do get a lot for it as well. The rebuilds, we release 2 or 3 a week, and you get the files for the rebuild, so you can go ahead and carry them on Foot Manager. So if you are watching this Roma rebuild and you want to go ahead and pick up from season 5 at the end of this rebuild, or even say season 2, season 1, season 3, or season 4, they're all available on Patreon for you guys to go ahead and pick up from that point. So you don't have to start rebuilding Roma from the start. You can pick them up down in season number 5, and then we massively appreciate if anyone can head down there and help support me out. And there is also a brand new free section on Patreon as well, which again I'd implore people to go ahead and sign up for if you are a fan of the channel. It will give you like sort of notifications when a video comes out direct from Patreon, and it's absolutely free to go ahead and sign up. And you might see a rebuild file on there which you also do want to go ahead and play with, and like I said, it helps support me out massively. So a massive thank you to the legends on screen, and a massive thank you to anyone that just listened to me have the biggest spiel in the world. Let's get on to season 3. Welcome in Coppa Italia number 10. Season 3 is where we finally lift a brand new trophy, and we're going to go ahead and go 1-0 down thanks to a Fiorentina goal, but we're going to see a couple of Wonderkids come in and steal the show. A ball out to Patrick Dorgu, the left-hand side, gets a fantastic ball into the box, and little Lucas Bergvall gets himself in there and finishes at home to make things 1-1. Coyote's then going to drive down the right-hand side, get a ball in the box, and Dacio Fofana is going to be there to make it 2-1, and Roma lift the Coppa Italia in a dominant game against Fiorentina. They were our rivals in season 1, beating us in the Champions League. We smashed them last season, and this season, the Coppa Italia, we gave them an absolute C&2, and one that I'm very, very happy with. And as you actually look through the starting team, as well as Iturbe in goal, Zeki Celik, Gapola, Gonçalo Oliveira and Dorgu as the back 4, Lavia and Paredes in midfield, Garan Cool at right wing, Alexis Tabidi at left wing, Pellegrini in cam, and Dacio Fofana up front. So a very different team to what you might expect us to go ahead and play. Coyote did come on in the 55th minute, Victor Hugo at half-time, Jaluski in the 61st, Jair come on at half-time as well for Oliveira, and Bergvall in the 67th minute. 5 minutes later, goes ahead and scores a goal to equalise for us here at Roma, and a massive trophy to go ahead and tick off. And I tell you what we've done in the Champions League is simply ridiculous. We'll go to the league phase where we finished in 16th place, 4 wins and 4 losses, losing to Chelsea, Leipzig, Porto, Antwerp, beating Sevilla, Wolfsburg, Bayern Munich and Sociedad. So a very good run in the league phase. Go to the knockout playoff round, and we battered Feyenoord 8-0, which shows last year's Europa League final, if we got there, would have certainly gone ahead and won that one. An 8-0 victory is very, very impressive. Run of 16, a 5-3 victory on aggregate against Leipzig. Again, very, very impressive. Quarterfinals, we go ahead and beat Liverpool 6-1 on aggregate. An outstanding result for us here at Roma, which takes us in to the semi-finals against Real Madrid. We head to the Santiago Bernabeu and get battered 3-1. Osimhen, Rodrigo, Bellingham scoring all 3 goals. Alexis Tabide for us, and sadly a Dacio Fofana missed penalty makes that game 3-1, and we have to take it back to the Stadio Olimpico to get into the final, where we actually went ahead and drew 2-2. It was a Dacio Fofana and a Patrick Dorgu goal, but Jude Bellingham and Victor Osimhen were just too strong, and sadly the Champions League was not coming home to Rome, but they did go ahead and go home to Manchester City, because they went ahead and beat Real Madrid in the final, which is funny. You beat us, but you can't even beat silly little small club relegated down to League 2, Manchester City. I am not a salty Manchester United fan. I do not know what gives you the impression that I support United. And now as we go into the Serie A, this season was fantastic. 88 points, top of the league, and the first time winning the Serie A since 2001 comes home to AS Roma. 88 points, 63 goal difference, 6 losses, 4 draws, 28 wins, and Super Tammy Abraham with 22 goals was outstanding. 27 overall, 2 assists in 44 games, and was the Serie A's top goal scorer. And clean sheets is our little man Alejandro Iturbe, 22 years of age now, is becoming a fantastic goalkeeper and kept the most clean sheets in the whole of Italy. 31 clean sheets in 61 games is very, very, very impressive. Given the fact as well, I'd like to say we haven't signed the superstar centre-back Capola for £5 million. Evan Ndika's here, a value at the start of around £9 million. We signed Jair for £1 million and Gonçalo Oliveira for £500,000. We're just keeping lots and lots of clean sheets. Lorenzo Pellegrini, a 7.44, an average rating, second this season. 14 goals and 12 assists was incredibly impressive. He is wanted by Al Nassr. He is not going to Al Nassr. He is going to be staying here for as long as I can keep him here. Lucas Bergvall in the games he played was our second best performer this season. 8 goals, 6 assists in 18 starts, 16 of the bench. He is progressing outrageously well. And again, I implore you guys, pick this guy up on your saves. He is absolutely fantastic. And Michael Kayode, 16 assists, proving that £40 million to be a bit of a bargain. And if he's a bargain, Patrick Dorgu for £6 million is an absolute bargain. 7 assists and 4 goals. And Dika was very good this season. Romeo Lavia played a lot of games, 5 goals and 7 assists. Sadly, obviously won't be joining the club now, but a good loan signing to help take us to the next step and win the Serie A. Zeki Celik was very good this season. Dash Fofana, 12 goals and 8 assists. Alexis Tabidi, 13 goals and 10 assists. Again, remember, we signed this guy for £6 million at the start from Troyes in France, and he is slowly progressing into being a fantastic little winger for us. So very happy with him. And Garang Kuhl this season, 25 starts, 21 off the bench, 11 goals, 5 assists, just under a 7 average rating, but is progressing nicely. And again, very confident we can get this guy to be an absolute superstar. So hopefully he can carry on his good business. And that's pretty much it in terms of our superstars. Even Harvey Vale started a game this season and got 15 games on the bench. So respect to Harvey. And finally, actually, Gonçalo Oliveira, £500,000 we signed him for. 10 starts, 18 off the bench, 6.76. Very impressed with the 19-year-old from Benfica. A very cheap signing and one I'm incredibly happy with. We have just won the Serie A. We now need to go ahead and win the Champions League. We've got Season 4 and Season 5 to go ahead and do it. Can we keep sort of winning the Serie A as well? We're going to take sort of a back-to-back as we finish off this rebuild. We've got 48 million quid and £45,000 in wage budget to hopefully go ahead and do it. The debt has come down to £173 million and we've got £70 million in the bank. So we're slowly getting there in fixing Roma in terms of finances, and of course in the league we are smashing it. So let's see, Season 4, can we take the next step again to the Champions League winners? And well, I'm going to have to do it without Tammy Abraham, because I decided Tammy Abraham was not going to be our superstar striker for this whole rebuild, and I think now is the time to go ahead and get him gone. And to be honest, as I look at him as an advanced forward, he doesn't fit the build down to an absolute T. He's 6'5", he's got good finishing, good composure, is fairly quick, but isn't an absolute advanced forward, playing on the last man, sort of driving through sort of after the ball goes over the top, etc. And the only thing we could do for him was loan him out to Aston Villa for £1.7 million. And they have got an option to buy him for 51 million quid. That would be fantastic if they do, but we had no money from selling Tammy Abraham, so we couldn't go ahead and bring in an absolute superstar. So only 3 signings were made this summer, and number 1 is Antonio Nusa. This guy is heavily linked to Tottenham Hotspur in real life, and if you guys do want to see a Tottenham Hotspur rebuild, that'll be coming out on Sunday on the channel, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one. Antonio Nusa was 16 flair, 17 agility, 15 acceleration, great pace, great crossing, great dribbling, great first touch. Is going to be a very good rotation option with Garang Kuhl on that right hand side, and for just £27 million from Belgium when he's been absolutely smashing it over there, I think is a decent price to go ahead and pick him up for, and hopefully he can become a superstar for us. A DM signing to replace Lavia after last season's fantastic loan is Luca Lippiani. This guy was a signing for just £10 million from Sassuolo. He's been a bit part player over there and will continue to do the exact same over here. He's consistent, he's very well rounded, he's got great jump and reach, he's 6'2", and hopefully can be a bit of a defensive stalwart for us. But the signing that I am most interested in, and you guys are interested in, to who is coming in to replace Tammy Abraham up front, is Francesco Pio Esposito. Yes, not someone you might expect to come in up front. He's 6'2", he's got great heading. He's not the exact striker that I was speaking about when replacing Tammy Abraham, but this guy, I think, could be one of the best strikers on the game. He's got great composure, great finishing, and great pace. He's consistent. £15 million is all we spent on him. Right now, when your saves, he's on loan at Spezia as well at the game, and it's at Inter Milan. And I don't think I've ever signed Francesco Esposito. I've signed Sebastian a lot, but never Francisco. And hopefully, we can turn this guy into an absolute superstar. I think he has the potential to be one of the best strikers in the game, and hopefully we can do that over Season 4 and Season 5, because he's got to lead the line for this team who have just won the Serie A, and the team looks like so. Iturbe, Coyote, Zalewski, Ndika, Coppola, Cristiante, Pellegrini, Nusa, Victor Hugo, Fofana, and Esposito. Backups of Svia, Zeki Celik, Jair, Oliveira, Dorgu, Bove, Lipiani, Kuhl, Bergvall, Tabidi, and Solbes. Certainly a young, refreshed Roma side. If we look through the average age of this club now, we have turned things right around. Lots of 21-year-olds, pretty much all under 24. A few older heads that have been here from the very, very start. But we are doing a fantastic job. We're currently not having many players come through the academy on sort of who are doing bits. The under 20s is pretty weak, and the under 18s, there's a few here like Daniele Silvestri, Fabio De Franceschi, and Capuzio, who will look okay, but probably aren't going to get anywhere in this rebuild. So don't really expect any absolute wonder kids if you do go ahead and sign up from Patreon, which is a surprise because 4-star youth recruitment, 4-star youth facilities, 4.5-star training facilities. A shame we can't really get any of them to be, you know, an absolute superstar here at Roma. Now, obviously, the main thing of this season is winning the Champions League. Last season, we got to the semi-finals. I would like to get to the final this season and potentially even win it. Obviously, the Serie A would be great to win again. The Super Cup would be nice to tick off the list, and the Coppa Italia, of course, to go back-to-back would be lovely. So, Season 4, what can we win this time? Well, we kick the season off against our save rivals of Fiorentina, and a 1-goal lead takes us 1-0 up in this one in the Super Cup. And Fofana for them, I thought I was about to say Dash of Fofana in purple then. I was getting confused, but it goes to 1-0 as Fiorentina get a goal back. Seki Celik, the left-hand side, gets a ball back to Bove, back to Celik. Celik with a ball back to the edge of the box, and Coyote with a fantastic shot, which Esposito knocks home to make it 2-1. Fiorentina are going to pick us back again to make it 2-0. Giorco sends to the edge of the box for Fran Beltran to go ahead and sign. If you guys have never used Beltran, again, a fantastic sign. And Pellegrini whips the ball in, and Ndika heads home for 3-2, and we do go ahead and lift the Super Coppa Italia, which is great to go ahead and win because that is another trophy just ticked off and gets the season off to the right foot. In the middle of January, always good to tick off a trophy like that one. Now, the Coppa Italia last season we were fantastic in and got to the final and went ahead and won it. This season again, we managed to get to the final and faced off against AC Milan, where a 3-2 victory saw us winners again. 3-2 seems to be quite the scoreline on this Roller team. Zalewski gets the byline and finds a great ball into Victor Hugo, who gets an early goal in 8 minutes, and guess what? He's going to double his tally as well as us. As we get another ball in, a ball deflected against the keeper, and Hugo is there to tap home again, and we're going to take a 3-goal lead with Tabidi getting on the left-hand side, beats his man, cuts it into that right foot. £6 million, remember, ladies and gentlemen. What a goal that was. AC Milan are going to go ahead and score a couple now. Ricky down the byline finds Chukwueze. Malik Four with a great finish from the edge of the box from a centre-back. Makes no sense. Absolutely disgusting that goal was even allowed to go ahead and stand. And Chao Enrique finds Charles de Cadere to Musa to Rafael to make it 3-2. But we held strong and we went ahead and won this. Again, dominant in terms of shots. XG was us as well, and possession-wise pretty much fairly split. And the team again for this save was not quite as you'd expect. Iturbe, Coyote, Cristiante at centre-back next to Ndika, Zalewski at left-back, Bove, Pellegrini, Nusa on the right, Tabidi on the left, Hugo and Cam, and Esposito up front, and that was the Coppa Italia. And then we check out the Serie A, and again, we've absolutely gone ahead and smashed it, nearly hitting a Centurion season, 99 points. What I've done to turn one of these games into a win. I mean, home to Udinese and home to Parma, surely we can pick up 3 points. Absolutely gutted, but an unbelievable season. A 90 goal difference. Yes, 90 because we scored 111 goals and conceded just 21 goals. Possession-wise, we're nowhere to be seen because we're not looking to keep possession. We're looking to go ahead and batter teams on the counter-attack. And Esposito, yeah, he's very, very good. 24 goals in the league this season. 36 goals in just 32 starts. And as you can see from these stats already, he's becoming a bit of a stud. Already got a cap for Italy now. Leading Serie A striker. 5-star potential. Is going to be that guy. Again, if you guys have not signed him on your saves, go ahead and sign Francisco Bio Esposito because he is fantastic. And Dacia Fofana this season with 30 goals and 12 assists was just as good. Unbelievable pace, determination, flair, finishing, etc. You know the this guy from last year, use him this year as well. He is fantastic. Unbelievable in the Champions League as well for us, which was great to go ahead and see. Coyote with the best average rating, 16 assists and 8 goals. Again, £40 million, looks like a bit of a bargain. Dorgu was there as well, and Pellegrini with 15 assists yet again, being an absolute legend for us. But it was Victor Hugo who picked up the most player of the matches with 7 overall, 15 goals and 11 assists in 48 games. And again, look at this guy's stats. He is just 20 years of age for your save. You pick him up for just £9.5 million and you have got a European superstar in Victor Hugo. So go ahead, pick him up. He is a demon. So a fantastic run in the Serie A, a fantastic run in the Coppa Italia, a fantastic win in the Supercoppa final, and a quarter-final loss in the Champions League to Barcelona. 6-1 on aggregate is not what I wanted to see based on how the season had gone so far. So it means season 5 is the only time we can win the Champions League, and sadly season 4 is not where we go ahead and lift it. There's absolutely no surprise who leads the average ratings charts for us this season. It is of course Marco Coyote and Esposito as the top 2. Dorgu in 3rd place, Hugo Fofana, Zeki Celik, Alexis Tabidi, Silva, Pellegrini, Iturbe, still a fantastic goalkeeper, and his stats are growing incredibly as well. Now a value of £40 million. Is unhappy because he's just on £19,000 a week and needs to get a big old pay increase. So Alejandro, do not worry. But remember at the start, we compared this guy to Miles Villar and decided he was going to be our starting goalkeeper. I've actually never clicked this button. He is now a better goalkeeper, better shot stopping, better distribution, same aerial, better communication, better mentals, a better goalkeeper. And again, sometimes you just have to trust your little wonder kid goalkeepers to come in, start them every game. Goalkeepers seem to grow quite quickly, so trust your wonder kid goalkeeper. They really don't make too much of a difference on this game. If your goalkeeper is absolutely awful, sometimes for me it doesn't really matter and they will just do well anyway. 7.02 being like what he is, an okay Serie A goalkeeper, winning the league, getting to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. I think if you have a well-protected defence, he will absolutely smash it for you. And in terms of centre-backs this season, again, looking at Coppola playing most of our games, yeah, just a start, but Oliveira, 500k with 4 starts. Ndika was fantastic for us, and I mean, from that, Cristiante played a few games at the back as well. Zalewski with 14 goals and 10 assists was brilliant. Nusa, 4 and 10, who was good as well. Ricardo Solbes hardly played for us. Garan Cool, 9 and 1. Maybe not going to make that next step, but I still stand by he could be an absolute superstar, so we'll keep him at the club and go into season 5. We need to win the Champions League to complete the Roma rebuild. Well, finally, the sale of Tammy Abraham of £35 million is certainly going to help us rebuild. He's head off to Saudi Arabia as well, earning £600,000 a week. So good luck to Tammy over in Saudi. We signed just 3 players in this summer window, very, very reserved. A backup left back in Christopher Brun. He is a wonder kid from Stade de Reims who looks absolutely fantastic, and yeah, very good 5-star potential left back to come in and be a backup. Wisdom Ame was brought in to be a bit of a better backup centre-back, Italian, 21 years of age, again, very cheap at £12 million. This season was really about sort of just improving their rotation options. And the final one is Nestore Erancuda. He is signed for Bayern Munich in real life and looks fantastic. 20 agility, 16 acceleration, 16 flair, good enough attributes as well. And again, a bargain of £12.5 million. Hopefully, he can be very, very good for us. I mean, he's not really thrived so far on FM, but he's another player that I think in the winter update will get a big old increase. And again, the team doesn't look so different. Iturbe in goal, Coyote, Ndika, Coppola, Dorgu, Pellegrini, Bove, Irancuda, Hugo Fofana, Esposito, Sevilla, Zeki Celik, Jair, Ame, Brun, Lipiani, Cristiante, Tabidi, Bergval, Nusa, and Garankul. Bergval has been a little bit slow over the last couple of years. Last season, just a 6.79 average rating. But like I said, winter update, this guy will get a big old increase. So if you're sitting here watching this end of February, early March, I think this is when the update's going to come out. Look for Lucas Bergval. And if you're looking at him now and you're watching this as it comes out in the middle of January, then go ahead and sign him anyway and use him, because if you play him in more games than I have, he'll progress into a superstar. If you play him every game, I assure you have one of the best central midfielders on the game at your club. So season 5, like I said, the Champions League is the goal. And we started that Champions League run by sneaking in to the top 8 in the league phase on 16 points. 5 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses against Dortmund and Liverpool away from home. But a fantastic start means we miss out on the knockout playoff round and go straight straight to the round of 16 with a 4-2 victory over Atletico Madrid, 4-0 in our leg, which is exactly what we needed because it looked like we weren't going to be doing very well indeed. And a little bit of a spoiler of how we have done in the Champions League is Esposito scoring 18 goals in the Champions League, and again making it known that he is one of the best Wonderkid strikers on the game. Quarterfinal wise, Tottenham Hotspur, we battered them 4-1 on aggregate, and semi-finals wise, Manchester City 8-4 on aggregate, we battered them. The first leg against Manchester City was absolutely outrageous, a 6-1 victory, yes, 6-1, where Francesco Pio Esposito bagged 4 goals against Manchester City. Tabidi with 23 shots to their 2. This team is ridiculous, and again I have to say the whole team again because I stress this is not an absolute top side, but Iturbe in goal, Celik, Coppola, Ndika, Zalewski, Bove, Pellegrini, Nusa, Hugo, Tabidi and Esposito. You've seen what we've done with transfers. We have not been wild, but we have gone ahead and got to a Champions League final finally, because it has taken quite some time to get us to this level. We go ahead and face against our arch rivals Real Madrid, who we keep getting knocked out by, and Jude Bellingham again starts this game off with a Real Madrid penalty in 3 minutes and gets them an early lead. But Esposito finds Dorgu, finds Cristante to Dorgu, the left hand side. Is going to do the classic from this tactic, whip it in, and the back stick. Esposito is there to knock it home, and in the 86th minute we're going to get a stroke of luck. Gatcho Fofana finds Coyote, goes ahead, shoots, deflected off Eder Militao into the back of the net, and we win the Champions League final against Real Madrid. An unbelievable rebuild, signing Wonderkids that I don't really use too much, and that is just in the Champions League. You have not seen the half of Season 5 yet. And that's because, of course, we were buzzing to win the Champions League, but there was an even bigger high-pressure game waiting to go ahead and happen. That's because us and Milan finished on the exact same points. It come down to a playoff game, and we battered them 3-0 to win back-to-back Serie A titles. An offensive mistake there, and Alexis Tabidi makes it 3-0 in 32 minutes time. The Serie A playoff, I have never seen this on this game, and Siri thinks I'm talking to him. You say Serie A, and Siri starts talking. Shut your mouth, sunshine. 84 points. Was a decent season, but the exact same as AC Milan's. We both had 26 wins, both had 6 draws, both had 6 losses. We smashed them on goal difference, but that doesn't count in Italy. You have to go to a playoff, and of course we battered them, which is great to see. A nice Roma trio up here in the top right, looking at past winners. Esposito was unbelievable, 51 goals in 46 starts this season, a 7.43 average rating. Again, go ahead and use him, he's fantastic. Coyote was great. Dacia Fofana, this FM, like I said, no one's talking about him. Go and use him. He's a bit of a bargain at £24 million, 22 goals, 11 assists, and the whole team overall I am very, very happy with. I'm very impressed with how everyone went ahead and performed. I mean, if we look at the average ratings, Jair with a 7.55. I mean, he scored in the playoff, only started 1 game all season. It was that one. Esposito with all the goals possible. Coyote is a bargain, or a cheap, an expensive bargain, but a bargain. Hugo, 13 goals, 10 assists, a very, very good season. Tabidi, 15 and 12. £6 million that we signed this guy for. Again, signing Wonderkids at that cheaper price, he has been an absolute stud to go ahead and pick up and develop. Zalewski, 5 and 11, and Ndika, very, very good. Where is the man I want to check up on? Lucas Bergvall, again, hardly played this season. Just 3 goals, 2 assists, not really progressing quite as much. Determination has dropped, and again, that's due to game time. Play him, he'll be a superstar. I hope you have enjoyed this Roma rebuild. I have loved making it. Last thing I want to check up on very quickly is the debt, £76 million. If we put all the money in the overall balance into that, we have cleared the debt as well, so a complete Roma rebuild. No more debt, smashed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. YouTube recommends you watch this one, and I recommend you watch this one, and I'll speak to you next time.